Hey kids, and welcome to the show. Today we're going to be finishing up our series on the archetypes, the male, the manosphere. And today we're going to be talking about two. Yep, you heard it, two. And I was going to do separate videos, but I decided that for various reasons to combine these last two. So here we go. The last two are gamma and sigma. Sigma is the positive, gamma is the negative. Basically, these both are considered lone wolves. These are the ones that are on the outskirts of society. However, they are polar opposites, which is why I decided to go ahead and talk about both of them in the same video instead of doing separate videos on both. You can always go out there and get more information on all these archetypes. It was coined by a guy that goes by Vox Day, and it was the social sexual hierarchy of men. We're going to continue to expound on that, but I did want to give credit to where it needed to go. He is considered an alt-right author. I don't care about his politics, but the social hierarchy is kind of interesting to me, so we've been talking about that. So today we're talking about the gamma and the sigma. The gamma male, you know this guy. You know this guy. He's toxic. The problem with them, they're typically what would be referred to as sexual rejects. Yes, I said it. And typically with the other ones, I've only talked about business, but with this one, they are legitimately relational rejects. And they fall into these two categories when it comes to relationships. When it comes to women, or anyone in for that matter, they either put them up on a pedestal or they hate them. There's no in between. So they shower so much attention on someone that it gets a little creepy. You know that person? And it's because they don't really understand what it means to give love. And then the other side of that is they just hate women. They are anti-woman, anti-feminist. They don't want women to accomplish anything. They think men are better. That's unfortunate, but that's kind of what I've found out while I've been studying this. They're also the only group that people talk about as being fatherless. And I think that's important, especially with my channel. We're talking about being a dad, right? And my relationship with my kids, and that's why we're talking about these males. So typically, the gamma male is not going to have a father figure or not have a positive father figure. Remember, just because you have a dad in the house doesn't mean you have a dad in the house. You might just have a father. And there's a big difference. My mom always said that there's a big difference between a father and a daddy, okay? So here, we're trying to be both. We're trying to be father and daddy. Gammas, they really don't fall into that category because they're very selfish. They're very, the universe revolves around them. And everything that is bad in their life is going to be blamed on someone else, typically on women. Because remember, gammas are anti-masculine. They're the ones that are like, oh, I don't want to go chop the tree. I don't want to do this. I want to live in this mansion, but I don't want to do any work. I don't want to have a job, but I want to go to the movies. I don't want to do this, A, B, B, but I want the results, and I'm entitled to them. And if you don't believe the way I believe, then you are dead to me. They drag people down with them. They're miserable people. They think they're the center of the universe, and their goal is to just make you fail. Because when you fail, it makes them feel good about themselves. So the gamma in a pack is the person that is toxic. And then the very opposite is the sigma. And the sigma, in my opinion, is probably the one that we should all work towards being. And this is why. Both the gamma and the sigma are considered the lone wolf, but for different reasons. The gamma is the lone wolf because he cannot socialize with people. He doesn't have healthy relationships. And typically he's having relationships with other gammas, which are going to cause the relationship to spiral and just be gross all around. The sigma, on the other hand, is very knowledgeable. They are very in tune with what the pack needs. The sigma has all the attributes of the alpha. They can be the alpha anytime they want because they're strong, they're decisive, but they choose not to be. They can be, but they choose not to be. That's the difference. Whereas the beta can't really be the alpha because remember, they don't do the decisions. They can't make the decisions. The sigma can make the decisions and they just choose not to. The delta, the working man, they can accomplish the mission, but they're not going to want to fight necessarily for that. Now the delta can move up to the sigma or to the alpha or whatever. Remember, these are personality things and they're on your own. So this is all about you. You can go back and forth. Sometimes you feel like an alpha, sometimes you feel like a sigma, but the sigmas are the people that don't need other people for recharge. They're the people that you can see if they get upset, they're moving, they're leaving, and they're going to themselves because they recharge alone. And they recharge in different ways. A lot of sigmas want to educate themselves so they can educate others. They are teachers. So the alpha, a true alpha, is not threatened by a sigma because an alpha knows the sigma doesn't want anything to do with running the pack. But the alpha also knows the sigma can. And because the alpha knows the sigma can, the alpha is okay with the sigma going around and training the little pups, so to speak. They are the ones that spread the knowledge. They're the grandparents. They're the mentors. The alpha isn't necessarily the oldest in a pack. Remember, we're not talking like the oldest. We're talking the strongest. We're talking the one that's going to keep the pack the healthiest. The wisest of the pack, those are going to be the sigmas. Many times, alphas will become sigmas. Sometimes sigmas just stay sigmas their entire life, and sometimes sigmas choose to be alphas. So the golden goose, so to speak, of the archetypes are the sigma. You're strong, you're confident, you thrive on knowledge, you thrive on relationships. Your goal is to make the entire pack work in peace. And the sigma only comes into the pack basically for meals and for protection and to protect the pack. It comes to take care of the pups. The sigma is basically grandpa. And that's okay. You don't have to be 50, 60, 70 years old to be grandpa. You can be a 25-year-old grandpa. Not really. Well, I guess you could technically, but let's not go there. The idea of the sigma, though, is it's a fatherly, but then an even higher state of fatherness. It's being the grandpa. It's being the one that's not going to threaten the alpha because it's your kid, basically. Does that make sense? Yeah, it doesn't threaten the alpha. The alpha is never threatened by the sigma. So you know that if the alpha is threatened by the sigma, one of two things are true. One, the alpha is not a true alpha, or the sigma is not a true sigma, and it's just a beta pretending to be a sigma. Because remember, a beta wants the power. The sigma can wield it. So in pop culture, the alpha is Thor. He is worthy. The sigma is Captain America. He's worthy too. Does that make sense? So Captain America's kind of doing his own thing. But when it comes down to it, he comes back, he fights for the pack. So there you go, a little Marvel reference there. Maybe I'm going to tag Marvel now in that last one. And tell me what you think. What do you think you are? Do you think you're an alpha? Do you think you're a beta? Do you I don't know, you're not a Charlie. Do you think you're a delta? Or do you think you're a sigma? I know you're not a gamma because you probably already turned this off and said I was the worst thing on the planet. So I'm expecting dislikes on this one because that's what gammas do. But I don't think I'm going to get a lot of dislikes because most of my listeners are so much more than just a little personality test or a personality quiz. My listeners are people who are praying and trying to make themselves better. My listeners are people that love and are sharing that love. And I hope that you will share this video, subscribe to the channel. And if you made it this far, man, I'd appreciate the like. Also, go down to the description, and I'm selling Scars and Stripes coffee to support the channel. So if you could help us out by doing that, I'd really appreciate it. Follow us on Twitter at Dad's Blessing. And until next time, work hard, be kind, and have fun.